Check 1 2, check 1 2, testing, mic test, mic test. My name is Leo Gary Walter Bice. I'm a resident of Princeton, British Columbia. I'm 38 years old. I was negatively impacted by the devastating floods within our community. My apartment was flooded out like many other people. I've had experience with homelessness before. This time I'm very fortunate that I do have a place to stay. To see that there's hundreds of people that are being displaced right now, not just within Princeton, but thousands of people within the province. We already have a housing crisis in Princeton, and I was just listening to some statistics, and since COVID, the drinking and drug use has gone up exponentially, and I'm just really worried, especially around the Christmas season. I was on the streets for 3 to 6 months. Thank God something happened and it got me back into the real world and I got back working. Give all that credit to the higher power, because that sure wasn't me, because 25 years later I was still dealing with my addictions. And there's my apartment. Put the light on. There's lots of resources available. However, everybody's leaning on these resources all at the same time, so it takes some patience. I've heard reports and many different stories, and I've talked to families and other people that are impacted by this, and there's 10 people living in a 3-bedroom apartment with animals and children and not all getting along. So I can only imagine if that's one story, what are the other stories that we're not hearing about? I would think our senior populations and people with families, the low income and disabled are struggling greatly. I do think they're going to be definitely more prone to lost housing and inadequate homes and having troubles getting into new places, especially in this community. There's 300 houses that have been impacted, and I don't know how many of them are going to be habitable again. One of my other friends, they just bought their own home and they were renovating, and they're renovating the upstairs, and they put everything in the basement, all their cherished belongings into the basement on Saturday, and then Sunday we had the flood. Kelowna, they went to Kamloops. Some people have ended up in Penticton. There's some low-income housing applications that got put in for the Oliver Syilx area. I don't know where everybody is ending up, but I'm hoping that they're finding somewhere. There's more availability for housing in the bigger city centers. However, the cost of the rentals are a lot higher. So it'd be really nice to see some federal support in this. It's a long process. It's a very long process. It's not something that can be fixed overnight. I lost a lot of very personal belongings, and it sucks, because I can only imagine all the families that have lost absolutely everything. Christmas stuff right before Christmas, losing all the family albums and photos. We had a few hours notice. Some of us had a few hours notice. Other people had 10 minutes notice to get out of their house. The stuff that I lost was only stuff. We didn't have any deaths associated to it. There's a lot of grief that is going on, but once again, it was only stuff that was lost. And we still have each other. We still have the kindness in our hearts, and we still have the ability to be nice to each other. And I think that's the most important thing, is that we continue to care for each other, because we don't know where somebody's coming from, or where they've been, or what they're going through. We only see what we see, and it's through the filter of our perception that we see them at that point in time. So it's very important, I think, that we be kind to each other and we care for each other. Not just during Christmas, but all year round. It's critical, and it's going to be a really hard time in the coming months. I think that we're going to see an increase in needs for counseling, grief counseling, trauma counseling. This was a very shocking thing to occur to a great deal of our province. I'm grieving. I'm very sad. confused. I don't know what steps to take really next. I'm just kind of going with my heart and where the universe or higher power leads me. And that I have a good support network of people that are there to help me when I ask for it. So the biggest thing I think, is people asking for help and looking for help and seeking help and comfort from each other.